27, there was a vote for voluntary dissolution by the Bay Board. And once that happened, it was incumbent upon the city to take certain actions, because with a voluntary dissolution, the assets and liabilities of the district become the responsibility of the city. Whether we like it or not, that's the way the statute is constructed. So from our perspective, we tried to think about what would be the vehicle that would make sense based on the feedback we've heard. Because a lot of the questions regard transparency. How do we know how money is being spent? How do we know it's being segregated from other monies? That what we pay on an acre basis is going for what it's supposed to, and all that. So from our perspective, the dependent special district provides that transparency. It's a very clean accounting instrument, so if you were to pick up a budget, you can see exactly where it is. It has certain additional requirements from the state, a little bit more oversight. So again, a little bit more of a comfort level. So from our perspective, that seems to be a vehicle that works very well, if that's the direction it goes. So we did craft the bill, share it with Pay, the legal counsel. If it moves forward from the local delegation as it stands now, there would be a standalone referendum on or before 10/1/26. If the majority of qualified electors vote in favor of the dissolution, it would be effective on 10/1/26. The caveat being it's got to go through the local legislative delegation, the legislature, and the governor has to sign it, survive that entire process, and remain the same. So any of these things could change, and one of the things we're likely to be doing is putting a section on the city's website so we can track this. Well, I should say so y'all can track it in a convenient spot. I'm sure most of y'all remember the Schoolhouse Rock videos. Huntsville, or Capitol Hill, well, that's kind of a process, if you will. The local delegation, and the next step will happen tomorrow. That's going to be at 100 West Cypress Creek Road from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So that's where the local delegation is actually going to hear this bill. And from there, if it moves forward, session starts in January, and that's when the fun begins in Tallahassee. And so moving forward, this is about partnership. I can't stress that enough. And I do want to put one plug in. We've had some inquiries about the status of the playground at North Acres. I do want to say that bid opening is set for January, and we expect implementation sometime by February or March. And our Parks and Rec Director, Tricia O'Toole, is going to be appearing at the next PAHA meeting to talk about that and other issues, including the bridges at Volunteer Park, and there's a lot of interest in that. And with that, I also want to say I'm extremely proud of what Samira has done since she joined the city. She's put a lot of effort into making improvements. I think North Acres Park is a real testament to that. And also Bill Mulder's been a wonderful addition to our team. So with that, I guess we can take it away.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our engagement session tonight. I would like to welcome you tonight, and I have with me Bill Mulder, our stormwater manager. If the process continues and if the district is dissolved and absorbed by the city, both of us are going to be serving the residents of Plantation Acres on day-to-day. With that said, I prepared a brief presentation, only 48 slides. So if you guys can be patient with me, Bill and I are going to share the time and go over the preparation. So tonight we're gonna go over the organization, the equipment we have, the assets and the maintenance operation, the engineering portion of the stormwater management, and the funding. So the organization, City of Plantation has 14 different departments. Some departments, like my department, the engineering department, I will be engaged with you on day-to-day operation. Public Works, that's another department where the engagement with the paid residents gonna be on a daily basis. But we have other supplemental departments such as the Human Resources Department, the Finance Department, Procurement Department. So any contracts, the Procurement Department gonna assist the city of Plantation in its entirety, including the special district in procuring any contracts needed to operate the district. The same as human resources. If we're hiring payroll for employees, time off for employees, all of the benefits can be handled by our own City of Plantation Human Resources and so forth. So I just want to give perspective on the city's operation and how that can trickle into the main operation. Day-to-day operation gonna be Mr. Mulder and his staff. So under the leadership of the mayor of Plantation and under the management of the city engineer, you will have the stormwater manager, Mr. Mulder, who's day-to-day operator of the stormwater management. We have currently 6 dedicated staff, field staff members, 3 stormwater technician 3s, and 3 stormwater technicians. So at the end of the presentation, I'm gonna present to you some perspective of future evolvement of this division if the district get dissolved. Engineering department, we have 9 total engineering staff from the city engineer, the assistant city engineer, field engineers and engineering assistants and inspectors. They're gonna be day-to-day interacting with the residents of Bay. Public works staff, from the division of the landscaping, the irrigation, the fleet management, purchasing the equipment, the vehicles, maintenance of the equipment, all of these functions are done in-house by our own public works. Of course, we outsource anything that cannot be done in-house, but the majority of the city functions that can be extended to the pave is in-house, done in-house. Equipment. Who's better to talk about the stormwater equipment than our own stormwater manager? So we're welcome Mr. Mulder.
Thank you so much. My name is Bill, Stormwater Manager. I'd just like to go over some of the equipment that we use on a daily basis to ensure that the stormwater conveyance system is flowing, it's free of blockage, it's not damaged. And so when we receive these large amounts of rain, that the water goes where it's supposed to go as quickly as possible. We've been able to, since I've come on board a few years ago, purchase a lot of really nice brand new equipment using some grant money that Samir will go into a little bit later in this presentation. But we currently have 2 jet back trucks which allow us to clean out the catch basins, that allow us to jet all the underground pipes and then take that material and remove it to the public works yard where we dispose of it. We have 3 street sweepers, which we are currently sweeping the acres now. We'll just continue with that process, and it's nice to have this extra equipment available to us. We also have 3 dump trucks that we can use for special projects, whether it's canal clearing or we have certain repairs that we have to do. We have to bring in additional dirt or rock. We use the dump trucks for that. We have a new backhoe as well that we use for swale grades and some other projects. And then we have our emergency backup mobile pumps. We have some experience here already in the acres coming in installing our pumps to relieve some of the flooded streets that are here. It was 2 years ago we were out here. We have a total of 5 pumps that we can use for the emergency response. And by the way, if anybody has any questions, just let me know. We don't have to wait till the end of this, but yes, sir.
Are the street sweepers, street cleaners that just sweep the water around?
They're both. They put water down, they clean the street, and then they suck it up. So they do all.
I'd like to follow up with how often is that done? Because today was the first day in 24 years that I saw one of those trucks.
Oh, wow.
So I just want to know how often.
Every 12.
Every 12 years.
All the shiny things.
Right, to answer your question, typically it's once a month that we were able to sweep the entire city. So it should be at least once, sometimes a little bit more often, especially if there's problems or we have complaints, and we can deploy them a bit differently. But typically once a month, every is swept in the city.
Oh.
Okay?
They have issues maybe, like getting down certain streets, cause I have 15 years and I got cameras all over the front. They've
Yeah, I've
been
never
noticed.
seen it.
I don't know of any issues getting down certain streets, I mean,
I'm
obviously.
just asking, I have 2 cameras in the front of our house, they've never been on ours, so.
Yeah.
It's the bulk trash issue. They
I
can't come here.
appreciate that we're taking questions now, but I think I would rather go over the presentation and hold our thoughts toward the end, because some of these questions can be answered during the presentation. So please, write your comments mentally, and we will go over all the questions
Good
for,
Good idea.
And I'll be sure to let you know what street you live on, and I'll make sure that that's addressed and you understand what, if there's an issue there. Okay, so that's some of the equipment we have. We also do, we have 64 bodies of water that the city is responsible in Plantation. It's over 170 acres of waterway. We've been able to purchase some new boats, so we basically have 2 boats that we use for cleanup and inspections, and then we have something we call a redo or a mechanical harvester, which is kind of like a bobcat on water. It allows us to go in and remove any large quantities of coconuts, trash, debris, or anything in that direction. And we have crews that just man these boats and take care of this on a daily basis. So assets and maintenance. So basically what we do is we divide the city into 27 different zones. Each zone is 2 miles by 2 miles. You can see Plantation Acres consists of zones 23 through 26. And this is how we service the city. We do it one zone at a time, and we just basically start at one, go all the way to the city, and then we start over and just keep rotating. Right now, we're able to service the city twice per year as far as inspection of the catch basins and the pipes. And just to give you a little bit of an idea, we have about 4,000 catch basins within the city that we service, about 400,000 linear feet of underground pipe, 800 outfalls, manholes, ditches, and swales. And when we look at the paid section, some of the information that we have is, we can't tell you it's 100% accurate because it's just based on paperwork that we have. We have not actually had somebody in the paid area actually looking at these assets and putting them in the GIS. But as of right now, we're looking about an additional 704 drains or catch basins that would be added to our inventory, 84,000 linear feet of underground pipe within the acres, 53,000 linear feet of canals and waterways. And we know that we have 6 pump stations here. But as far as the swales and the outfalls and culverts, these are things that myself and my team, pretty much on day one, if the dissolution happens, we will be going out and inspecting every one of these assets, confirming that they are actually there, making sure that on the correct location on the map. We will inspect, make sure they're clean, make sure that they are not broken or damaged, and basically take the conveyance system that you have now and make sure that it is working 100% to the best of our abilities to do that. Some of our stormwater water operations is kind of is an example of what we come up against on a daily basis without falls being blocked by debris and covenants. And with it's just within an hour or two with the equipment we have, we can clear up these canals. There's just some more pictures of the boats in operation in the different canals within the city. We also do canal clearing. I think we cleared over 8,000 linear feet of canals throughout the city of Plantation, basically just cutting all the trees back, removing trees from the water, allowing the residents to navigate these waters, whether it's for fishing, boating, kayaking, and we've made quite a difference in the city since we started this project. As an example, a catch basin is one of the main conveyance systems that we use as far as collecting the water and then sending the water in the right direction to where it's supposed to go. When these basins are not maintained, like the one you can see on the left, basically nothing happens other than the streets are flooded. So we're able to go through and inspect these 4,000 basins twice a year right now with the equipment and staff that we have. We also are able to inspect the pipes, and like I mentioned, we have if we add paid inventory to that, about 500,000 linear feet of underground pipe that is inspected, again, twice a year, making sure these pipes are clean, not damaged, and that the water is flowing as it is supposed to. We have ditches and swales that we do maintain now. This is kind of an example of some of in the historic district of Plantation. We have to go in and clear these out on a regular basis. This happens about 4 times a year. And we have about 5,000 linear feet of these concrete ditches that we maintain. It's a little bit challenging because you can see there's only a distance of about 4 feet to get in there. There's a lot of snakes, spiders, it's muddy, it's dirty, but it's one of the things that we do. We also, we don't have the ability to go in and inspect long runs of pipe. So we do have contractors that we have on board that come in and will inspect the pipes and do the things that I'm having difficult doing with the equipment and personnel that we have. So this is a company that comes in, inspects these pipes for us, gives us videos and written documentation of what they find. If they find problems, like in this situation, we go in and remove the corroded pipes and replace them. Most of the replacements we're doing now are with concrete, reinforced concrete, rather than the corrugated metal, because you can see after so many years this corrugated metal just deteriorates. Where the concrete is a bit more expensive, but it lasts a lot longer, and that's kind of the direction that we're looking for all the replacements that we're doing here moving forward. There's a couple more pictures of this project where we removed the box and the pipe and installed the new assets here. We've also started doing a lot of swale regrading. There is a lot of swales make a big difference in being able to make sure that these streets don't flood and that the water flows to the nearest catch basin as quickly and effortlessly as possible. And this is just one example of many of the swales that we have taken care of in the city. And then just picture the street sweepers. This is one of the new sweepers that we got. That it works phenomenal. The guys are really happy with it. And again, this is equipment that was purchased with grant money from the city. Just a picture of us inspecting these manholes. I don't know the number of manholes yet that we have in paid, but we will figure out what that is, and go in and obviously inspect each one of these in detail, making sure that they are performing the way that they are supposed to perform. And just so you know, a manhole basically is there if you have 2 pipes that are going to be changing direction or changing elevation. That's why we have these manholes. So, but we do that on a regular basis. We have about 800 of them in the city right now. And our emergency response, I did touch on this a little bit before. Most of the residents in Plantation have my city cell phone, and they do call me when they feel that their home is in danger. And I have gotten up at all hours of the night to go in and relieve some of the flooding situations. Most of the flooding that we're seeing is leaves or debris or bulk rubbish that is stacked on top of the grates, which is causing the flooding. We just have to go in and clear those grates, and then the water does flow. Everything we have underground, the 480,000 linear feet of pipe we have is clear and it's flowing. The only time right now that we're getting flooding in the city is if there is no catch basins or drainage at all, or if they are blocked by leaves and debris. So we have 5 different pumps that we use for the emergency response, and pretty much go anywhere. Obviously with these pumps, what I would do in the acres, if it is dissolved, then we take over. I already know a couple of troubled areas where the flooding happens. We would go in and install sumps, which is basically a hole in the ground, and we would put a lid over it so that if we ever needed to deploy the pump, we would go right to that location, have a place for our suction line to go as deep as possible into that flooded water so we can remove as much water as possible in the shortest amount of time. Okay? And I would like to then hand it back over to our amazing city engineer.
So I'm gonna go over 3 critical projects that we're currently working on or finished working on, and the stormwater master plan. So the city invested in, funding, ARPA funding, which is the American Rescue Plan Act, it's a grant funding. We invested 1.2 million in a citywide stormwater master plan, which included, state-of-art, technology and modeling and simulation of, scenarios of rainfall and how the city reacts with these, scenarios. We are at that end of our third year. I'm gonna be presenting the stormwater master plan to council at the first meeting in January, and I invite each one of you to attend this meeting. We included the Plantation Acres in a high level, since the acres is not under our jurisdiction, and like Bill just mentioned, we did not verify the assets, so it is done part of the master plan, but it needs some tweaking and some validation since the assets need some validation. So this tool is ready for the district to take it and evolve it if it continues as a district, or if it dissolves and come to the city will use this tool to reaffirm the assets and simulate the modeling for PAID. I always like to refer to this stormwater master plan. The science leads us to conclusions. So we base our decision based on the modeling, and it's not like Samira woke up and decided we're gonna put a pump here or a drain here. You're using this scientific tool at your disposal to make business decisions. This is just zoom in to one excerpt from the stormwater modeling, and what you can see over here is just how the PAID district react toward a storm. So we simulate, okay, we're receiving 10 inches of rain. Hey, model, show me where is the areas that's flooded, not flooded, and we're gonna use this tool, as I said, to make business decisions. The second project that I would like to highlight is North Acres Park. Many of you guys celebrated with us the grand opening of North Acres Park. So the park is not just a recreational facility, but it's also a stormwater facility. The development of 2.5 acres pond that have positive discharge to PAID canal made a difference in the community. And I think many of you attested this year how the park not only, it wasn't only a point difference, but a regional difference. I can tell you, based on the science that I was just talking about, I simulated the effect of the development of North Acres Park, and I found that there was a regional impact on the entire North Acres region, from Sunrise Boulevard toward the boundary of the city. The park made a difference in your community. With that said, we're gonna take similar approach in developing other parks in the city. I am aware that PAID commissioners are currently talking and working with South Florida Water Management District regarding a potential 7th pump, potentially around the area of South Acres. So that's an area we would like to continue the collaboration. Like Jason said, if the district continue as a district, we will continue working with the commissioners on similar project like the North Acres Park to South Acres and the Middle Acres. If the district is dissolved and the operation moves to City of Plantation, we will take that effort that the commissioners have started and evolve it into a reality of development of South Acres Park, in addition to adding the 7th pump if it is possible. Vulnerability assessment, that's another project. It's a high technical modeling project. What is this project? It ranks the city's assets based on its vulnerability to extreme rain events and king tides and future. Now, why we need to do all this complication and all this science? Fortunately or unfortunately, these documents are needed for the city of Plantation and the district to apply for grants. For example, the vulnerability assessment is a check mark and a needed document to apply for the Florida Resiliency Fund. So any community that's interested in such a fund need to have that vulnerability assessment done. And City of Plantation, we are in the process of finalizing this document, and paid assets is part of this. So we didn't forget about you, you're part of City of Plantation. I just want to highlight on this slide that grant effort. City of Plantation has a dedicated staff member. We have a grant coordinator in-house. Ms. Divine is actively seeking any funding opportunity that we have in all forms, in different subjects within the city, but specifically in the storm. I work with her on one-on-one and with the administration on the stormwater. As I highlighted before, we had the stormwater master plan, $1.2 million was funded by grant. We purchased almost $2 million worth of equipment utilizing grants. The vulnerability assessment itself is done utilizing FDED grant, and we recently got awarded a Broward flooding grant in the amount of almost $450,000. We are actively seeking any opportunities of grants, including the Resilient Florida Grant Program that I just talked about. The governor allocates almost $20 million annually for Florida resilience, and as I said, stormwater master plan and vulnerability assessment are necessary in order for us to apply for these grants. Recently, Broward County published their Resilient Broward Grant Program. The city is seeking some funding. Unfortunately, this year we couldn't apply. The area that they limited the application to, very limited within City of Plantation, but as the area expanded, we will continue applying for such a grant. An appropriation request. This year we provided council with several stormwater management projects that they voted on to move to request some appropriation funds. I'm gonna take a moment to talk about the state budget. Since the movement and the dissolution and the commissioners had voted in February, we didn't take the time to dive deep into the budget. We just did planning level analysis of the budget. So from our understanding of the budget, the adopted budget, 2026 state budget is 2.2 million. Expected revenue is 2.2 million, and each resident of Plantation Acres are paying a special assessment of $1,250 per acres. My understanding, the bill is drafted that this financial structure gonna continue for the first 2 years as if the district get dissolved and absorbed by the city of Plantation. I did a quick analysis, where is this money, how this money is divided, and I found the following: 5% of your money is allocated to the tax collection, 44% is allocated to capital project, and as I read the FY26 budget, you allocated this year $850,000 to cleaning and some stormwater software modeling, water sensors, and some pipes under the roadway and roads. The operation and maintenance comprised 87% of your budget, or almost $810,000. $460,000 of that is your employees and their benefits. $195,000 is canal maintenance, and some miscellaneous operational funds. Administration, compromise 14% of your funding, and that's where I think that some of the efficiency and that City of Plantation can come in and help you in, take that administration portion and absorb it by City of Plantation actual operation. We talked about, the accounting, the HR, all of that is a general function of City of Plantation, which can, save that dollar, that $320,000 can be reallocated to actual operation or capital, in our opinion. So moving forward, vision. If the district gets dissolved and the city absorbs it, Bill, myself, administration, we sat and we talked how that's gonna affect our organization. Is our staffing gonna be enough to serve the entire city of Plantation, including your resident? Maybe not. Maybe there will be a need to add more staffing. So this is my preliminary vision that we're gonna be adding a whole crew, stormwater division 2 and 3, in addition to pump station operator position. Now, we acknowledge that City of Plantation, we do not have stormwater pumps. We do not operate stormwater pumps. I don't know if some of you know some of my background. Before my position in City of Plantation, I was the public works director for City of Sunrise, where I managed the stormwater operation. The City of Sunrise operates 8 pump stations, and I manage that operation day to day. Actually, I survived Hurricane Irma and a few other rain events in June 22 and October of 2020, where we received extended rainfall and we had to run our pumps. So there will be some learning curve, there will be some evolving in the organization. I cannot promise you that there will be no flooding, but what I can promise you there will be management of the flooding. And in my humble opinion, a successful stormwater management requires accessible administration, hands-on operation, real-time emergency management, public engagement, hands-on and accessible engineering, and transparent financial statements. And that will conclude our small presentation, and I will